Guys, I am super excited, beyond thrilled here tonight. It's a powerhouse in here. There's a synergy. It's almost palpable. I am to my right, okay? I have the distinct pleasure and honor to introduce a wonderful friend now. I feel like I've known her parents and her for some time now. And just an extraordinary person in every respect of the word. But most importantly, she has graced your TV screen during season 16 of The Voice, and she's here to talk to us. We're here to have some conversation, and then find out what she's been up to. She splits her time between Norco, so it's California, Cali, and Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
And then
so with the accent,
twang, And guys, please let's give it up without further ado, my good friend and country singer superstar Presley Tennant.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Man, go ahead.
I was like, it's been so long, so I'm like, I feel like it's a little reunion.
Yeah, it really is a reunion. Yeah.
I love this.
And this is a new studio we have, and it's fantastic. This is obviously the show Almost Famous. That's a story in and of itself, and we'll just put it off for another time. So let's focus in on you. I mean, you still live in the same place in Norco. For all those that might not understand this, correct me if I'm wrong, but Norco is North Corona, correct?
It is. I just found that out I want to say like a year and a half ago.
When I told you.
Is that what it was?
2 years, yeah. I'm the one that...
It's all coming full circle already.
It was an enlightening moment. It was a watershed moment. I said, North Corona. Like NoHo, North Hollywood.
I said I would have never put that together until you said it. And then it just kind of like made sense.
Well, breaking news, guys. Presley Tennant's in the house. I'm super excited. Of the many colorful experiences and people that I've had sat across from me, and many of places, you have been one that I'm proud of to say that I know you. I've actually seen you. I won tickets with my wife. It was our anniversary. Did you know that?
Actually, I do remember this.
Yeah. And we took pictures.
Thanks for spending it over there.
And I decided we'd go to, was it the LA Fair?
Yep.
And then we fought traffic because there was a lot of traffic. We fought, they had people that were peddling stuff, and we almost got shot in the whole enchilada just to get to go see you. So we did make a trek down there, and I had a bulletproof vest just to be able to get past all those the people down there in P-Town. I'm completely kidding, guys. I'm joking. It was a lot of fun. Funny. It was so much fun, by the way.
I said thank you so much for coming over and spending it with me on your anniversary. Yeah. I'm so sorry you had to do that.
No, I mean, are you kidding me? It was such an honor. Like, my girl's like, oh, we're going on. Oh, guess what? You're not. I meant to tell you the next time I saw you. So they have the mining company in Pomona. The Pomona Mining Company is a restaurant up at the top.
No.
It's a top. It kind of like teeter-totters it's overlooking that mountain top, and it used to be a part of it's like a mining company. It really was. It's a whole thing,
I was like, and I feel like, is it right off the, what is it, the 210?
Yeah.
Maybe I have seen it.
No, it's the 57. From the 210, you drop down to the 57 to the 60.
There we go.
Pomona, the P-Town freeway. And you see it at the top. The view is stunning and spectacular from at the top. But let's get right into the meat and potatoes of the conversation.
Let's do it.
What have you been up to since we last saw each other?
Oh my gosh. I feel like the question is more, where have not been?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been running around everywhere, but I've had the best time. So I'm going back and forth between Nashville and Norco. I would say I'm out there probably about once a month. Okay. Kind of give or take.
Just you're still splitting your time.
Yeah.
So what is it about Nashville, besides the obvious that it's like the birthplace of country music, if you will, and all the greats have passed through there? But what is it about it? Like, is that the single factor of why it inspires people for creative juices to flow, or what exactly is it that draws you to Nashville? Is that where you're?
I think for me, because like I said when we were talking a little bit earlier, but to me, Nashville's very similar to LA.
In what respects?
In the sense of everybody out there is a creative.
Okay.
But I think it's more focused on music out there.
Right.
but I love, and it's it's a lot smaller. It only takes like 30 minutes to get anywhere. Not like,
really?
Not 3.5 hours for me today.
No way.
It was not 3.5. It was like,
no, it wasn't.
2.5. I think
it was
I
like
left at 3:45.
It took her 3 days to get
it felt like
literally
it.
grew.
Yeah. I was like, I put on like a podcast and I was like, I might as well learn while I'm here. No.
You were in your Bronco.
No.
You got that Bronco. She's got the O.J. Simpson Bronco. She literally took from that museum where it's parked. It's really nice. I really enjoy it. I liked it. I did.
I love that thing, especially with so much like with what I do, whether I'm going snowboarding or out in the desert.
Okay.
I love something that is very versatile and I can take it out and like do whatever I want. Take the top off of it, go down to the beach.
What color is it, by the way?
It's like a navy.
Okay.
It looks black at night and then it's like nighttime. Bright. It almost looks bright blue and sparkly during the day. It's very fun.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
It wasn't the color.
It's fun, right? It's like a fun drive.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic, and I don't get the death wobble. Sorry, Jeep owners. No, but I mean, I will say, going back to the whole Nashville thing, I love it out there because to me, it's so inspiring being surrounded by all those creatives, and everyone is top tier at what they do, and so it pushes you to become something better. It's like, even when you're out, whether or not it's just like sports or like for me, like when I go snowboarding or something like that, I don't want to go with people that like, I want to go with people who are better than me because it pushes me to be something, to push myself. And so I've noticed whenever I'm out there, I'm surrounded by so much incredible talent. And the thing is, everyone out there is great. Like, they aren't just good, they're great.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how... like, you want to be that.
Right. So the bar's, you'd say the bar's raised. It's
the bar
really
is
high.
set extremely high.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, for me within country music, it's definitely a lot easier going out there because everyone does it. I will say out in LA, there's not too many people that I know out here that do country music. It's more of like that pop, R&B, hip hop, rock and roll, that sort of feel. But out in Nashville, there's something so special about it out there, and I don't know if it's because of all the history
it's
or
not the brandy or the whiskey.
I mean, that helps. But
so tell us about horse country, like just, you know, describe to us, or just in a colorful way, and you know, like, what was it like going to school? Did you ride horses or ponies to school?
You know, I wish I could say it was cool, and I did that. But my parents, when they moved over there back in, I think it was 2001, the year before I was born, they loved just like the property for what it was, because everything is for horse property.
Beautiful.
And so they built the house, and then I was born the next year, and it was just very quiet. Everyone knew everyone. Which is a great thing until you do something and you don't want people to know about, and then everyone knows, and you're like, oh. So I was always on the outside.
Like a kind of quaint little city where everybody kind of sort of knows each other in the community?
For the most part, I would say. I mean, I always felt like I was on the outside of the inside.
Okay.
Like, where I knew everyone, but I wasn't super close with them. But I want to say...
You were guarded. You're kind of like maybe...
That, and I was also homeschooled.
You're homeschooled. That's
during middle school. And then...
Your parents sheltered you. It's good to be sheltered.
You know what's so crazy is that I sheltered myself.
Really?
They were like, Presley,
you're in the bunker?
No, they were like...
I'm not coming out.
They go, Presley, like, why don't you go hang out with people? And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
no, it was
so rad.
Kindergarten through 5th grade. I went to elementary school. Elementary school, and then 6th through 8th I was homeschooled, and then I went to a performing arts school out in high school high school, and then
phenomenal.
Yeah, and then I got invited to like one party in my freshman year, and then I found out they were all drinking, and so I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, they're drinking, come pick me up.
Mom, the Kool-Aid's been spiked.
I know. It's safe to say I was never invited to another high school party again, and I was like, no, okay, you know what? I get it. I know I'm not cool.
Yeah, I'm hearing you out, and that's crazy because you know, it's true. Like you go to, you know, these parties, and especially when it's like the first time you go, and you think like Bozo the Clown's gonna come out, gonna have some balloons.
No.
It's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna get to run around and play tag, and wait a minute, these people are actually drinking like real drinks.
Yeah,
what's in your cup, by the way? Speaking of which,
just a little water today.
Okay, yeah, me too.
So I got to drive home. So, but no, I just remember always having the best time. I will say I love Norco for what it is, just because it's so quiet. It's like we have like our few places that we really love going to. And then it's so close because I grew up also coming out to LA.
Sure.
I would say almost 5 days a week.
Right.
And it's only depends on the day and what hour of time it is, but it can take me anywhere from just like an hour to 3 hours. But it's so easy and close to get to. So when I want to jump in, I can. And then when I want to jump out, I can kind of be in the quiet.
Wow. I gotta say, it's fair to admit and say that, like, you have such a cool life.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, you know, you live in one town and then you just skip around. You go to Nashville, Tennessee, and then you come right back over here to the valley, the San Fernando Valley, and then you just get to go around wherever you want. So you're like bi-coastal. How many times a year, a week would you say, or is it monthly or bi-monthly that you're in Tennessee?
I would say it's pretty. Last year was really consistent with being there once a month for at least a week to 3 weeks. So it kind of just varies. But no, I think that's the coolest part, especially within the music industry, is getting to travel everywhere.
It's fun.
I love going to new places.
Yeah.
So like traveling's one of my favorite things. Like I love going on the airplane.
Are you a foodie?
Oh my God, yeah. I said, and that's the other best thing. It's like whenever I go places, I have to stop and try to get like whatever the town or like the state is known for. I'm like, I'm trying this because I need to check everything off my bucket list.
That's right.
I was like, I remember the first time I went to Nashville, everyone's talking about the Nashville hot chicken, and I
What was
had
that like?
Oh, it was delicious. But I think I gained 25 pounds by the end of it. And then I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I haven't had hot chicken since. I'm like,
you're like,
that was
needless
enough.
to say, I learned it.
We hit all the points. The only place we didn't go to was Prince's.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, but there are some good places out there.
Have you ever been to, like, you've been to Graceland, of course.
I have not.
No?
But that is one place that I would love to go to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You love Elvis?
Oh,
I'm a huge Elvis fan.
I feel like I should be a bigger Elvis fan because my name's Presley. But I will say I don't know too much about him, but I know that he was incredible. And so and then I watched the movie too. But it's like I admire musicians for so many different things, like their work ethic and what they're capable of doing, especially back then when you didn't have like all the editing and the software and things like that. It's like that was just them. That was pure talent, and that was who they were.
No auto-tune.
Yeah.
Holy cow, you know, the auto-tune just makes everyone a superstar. But, you know, obviously today we're going to put Presley Tennant's vocals to the test. But she's got you got a snippet of a song you want to play.
Yeah.
Why don't we just jump into that, dabble a little into the music? Are you up for doing something? Is that cool?
I mean, I can. Should we do it right now or should we wait a little bit?
Okay.
I was like, I can pull it out right now, but we're going to have to.
I'm down, man.
I said, then give me 2 seconds.
All right, cool. No problem.
I'm gonna push this back. I will say the inspiration for music comes from a lot of my personal life.
Right.
Especially like, I mean, it's one thing when I was younger because it's hard when you are in high school. I thought boys had cooties for way too long.
We do, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I've grown older and I learned that cooties are called something else. And I was like... Awesome.
That's funny. Right.
That's terrifying. But no, it was kind of just one of those things where it's like, the more life I live, obviously, the more experiences you have, and it's easier and it's more natural to talk about. But I remember back then, it was like, I just wrote about like not wanting to go back to school or like, oh, I'm afraid of the world, all this stuff. And then I finally...
Everything's so novel, huh? So when you're just, you know...
Well, I thought it was like a philosopher back in the day, and it really was not. I was like, this is so deep. And then I was like, I looked back at it and I was like, girl, what are you talking about?
That's hysterical. It's funny.
But now it's like, I don't know. I feel like even the music that I put out last year, I felt like there's just been this weird kind of... The one thing as an artist is you always want to speak your truth.
Right. Good job. I love that.
I feel like I will say this last year was still a really big growing, the past year and a half, because that's when I wrote a lot of the stuff that I put out last year. I was still kind of going through the process of figuring that out, and what I want to say in my music, and all these different things. And it's just like, there's been so much life that's happened within like the past year and a half where I feel like I was like, I know I'm still 22, but I feel like I'm 40. But
you're wise beyond your years. That's what it is.
Thank you. So that's what I like to tell myself. But they don't ID me anymore at the bar. So and I'm like, okay, so I look and feel old. Cool.
No way. No way. Whatever you're drinking it's working. You're staying like young. You're 18. When I met you, you're 19, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, you're 19 years old.
Yeah.
You did that video for James Matthew, who's probably watching this. James Matthew, or will be, my son. And what was he vying for? The king? What was it?
Homecoming King.
Homecoming, yeah. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He did this video snippet, and he was like, oh, my God, Dad.
Vote for him.
Yeah, that was so crazy. I have the video somewhere. I'll have to share it with you.
That is so funny. Yeah, it's been such a whirlwind, especially, I don't know. And
Yeah,
that's why I feel
right.
like I'm really excited for this year and this music that's coming out, because I feel like it's a different level of being real with people.
And staying true to your artistry.
Yeah. Like,
that's tough, right?
Well, and it's like all the stuff that I put out last year, I love them. They were a chapter in my life, but it's like I'm ready for the mature chapter.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
the next level.
I'm excited for everyone to see, because I feel like they'll also get to know me on a different basis, instead of just being like this whole trying to be like, with social media and things like that, like trying to be perfect all the time.
Like politically correct.
Yeah.
You know, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Just shed all that old skin or whatever it is, and, you know, layers, and be yourself. Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
I love it. Great stuff.
Yeah, but this one I wrote recently with Mr. Joey Hyde out in Nashville. I met him down at a songwriters festival in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
And then we got together next time I was out in Nashville, and I was like, yeah, like, you know that one person? I was like,
shout out to him, for sure.
No, and it was just kind of one of those things where I feel like everyone hates being wrong, no matter what. No one really loves to be wrong. But
but it's important to be flawed.
Exactly.
And to be okay with being wrong.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, especially, I mean, when I was writing the song, it was like about that one person where it's like, oh, like, I didn't think that they were ever going to stay.
Right.
Or it's like, whether it's relationships or friendships. Yeah. But you were so glad to be wrong because they did stay. But yeah, so this is called Being Wrong. Should have been a trail of dust following you out of town. We should have been a faded moonlight, a memory. It should have been a fire that just burned out. But here we are, you're still staying. Everything but good is gone. So pull me in a little tighter, 'cause it feels right. It feels so right being wrong. Something. I was like, I need to change these strings so bad. They sound like...
Hey, you know what? You did justice to your voice. I mean, to your voice with the chords. The chords, I felt like it's kind of like an accessory, you know, if you will. For me, anyway, if I play the guitar, I play like every once in a while, bust it out and play like some, you know, Led Zeppelin. No, I'm kidding. So I play some Guns N' Roses.
Your turn now.
No. I'm terrified. The last time we did go with the Tennessee whiskey, but it was just off the cuff. Yeah. It was totally organic, right? And we just said, oh, whatever, screw it, let's do it. But and that was really nice and gracious of you. So thank you for coming all the way up here, all this way to really, you know, to grace us with your musical like genius. It's insane. You're a virtuosa for sure. Call you a virtuosa. Let me ask you this. You know, obviously you're in season 16 of The Voice. Let's go to that real quick. We can always shift gears. This is my show after all. This is ADHD 101. No, but you were you know, thanks C. Give it up for C. And C, C's a rock star. So, you know, what was that like? The process of, I mean, even the because it was like it was you're supposed to. Nobody knew at first, right? Like the judges don't see you, so it's kind of like a blind date of sorts.
Yeah.
Then you come out, you belt out the song. How did that all unravel? Like the song you chose, that very song, what birthed that idea to do that song?
It was, so, I mean, when you go on one of those shows, I feel like the biggest thing is you obviously, because it's a blind audition, they can't see you. All they know is just how you sound. So it doesn't matter what age you are, what you look like. And that's what I love about The Voice. Yeah. Is because it strictly comes down to like how you perform it.
Right.
And so I remember I sang the song Stone Cold by Demi Lovato because I was like, I want to pull out all the stops that I can. Yeah. I was like, this is my one shot. It's like right. Eminem saying, is that Eminem? Yeah.
Yeah.
One shot, you
get
only
one
got
shot.
a chance to blow. Whatever.
Yeah.
I tried singing an Eminem
that.
song the other day, and then I was like, I'm too white for this. I was like, this is not gonna work. No, but it was such a fun experience because I remember. I mean, I was 16.
Yeah. 2019, right?
Ooh, might have been 20. When did I start high school?
2017.
2016. So it's probably 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I went on the show and I had auditioned with that song for like the producer rounds and things like that. And I knew going into it, like I may not get that song as like my final choice. And so when they gave it to me and I was like, wow, thank goodness. I was so happy
Christmas
because
came early, huh?
Literally. And I was like, I remember one of the other girls, she auditioned with the song.
Yeah.
And she was like, you got the song I auditioned with. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't get a choice.
Sorry, not sorry.
I was like, I'm cool with this. But she freaking killed her audition. I mean, she got 4 chairs.
Fantastic.
And I mean, she was incredible and still is.
Love that. You edify others, and that's fantastic.
Thank you.
It says volumes of who you are.
I was like, that's the one thing about music is like seeing my friends do so well.
Right.
Like it's so, I don't know, it's such a special feeling because we're all working towards the same thing.
Right.
So like, especially during The Voice when it's like, we're there for like a couple weeks to like a month, and like all you have to do is just hang out with each other, and so you get to know one another for
really?
Yeah. And
okay.
And so what's
that process like?
It was, for me, it was a little different compared to a lot of other people because I still had school that I had to do. So I had a set teacher.
Yeah.
Had to go to school for like 5 hours a day.
Okay.
And then I would go to like rehearsals or wardrobe or interviews, or we can go to like the mall down the street, go grab some food. But there was just always so much of all of us hanging out at all times. And like we'd have jam sessions at like 10 p.m. inside the hotel.
Bohemian nights of sorts.
I was like, I don't know what that means.
So just like kind of like no rules, sort of doing, off the cuff kind of.
Well, it's like my favorite thing was there'd be like 3 people on a guitar and they play the same chords over and over again. It was probably like a G, C, E minor, D or whatever. Yeah. And then everyone would just start jumping in with random songs to start singing. And then all of a sudden it'd sound like a choir. But I remember one of my favorite nights was, we had probably like 25 people, maybe 30 people in like a small hotel room. Yeah. And it's quiet hours. So like hotel security comes up and like bangs on the door. Sure. And all our bright minds were like, oh my God, let's hide. Because of course there's so many places to hide in a hotel room with 25 people. Yeah. And so we all hid around the corner as best as we could. And security was like, look, we know you're all in here. We get it. This happens all the time. But you guys got to shut up. There's other people trying to sleep. And we're like, okay. Yeah. I was like, I get it, but
I mean, it's so exhilarating. Like just like we say, the powerhouse of having, the logistics of having all these people together, and then you throw them into this like whirlwind of a situation that you're not used to being in, so to speak, and you guys are all like excited because you're in this to win this. Yep. And at the same time there's a camaraderie, and then after hours, and there's the BTS kind of behind the scenes kind of thing that everything goes. So take us through like a night where you guys were like, what else would happen? What other stuff were you guys, shenanigans you guys get into? Was there drinking involved? No, because you guys were teenagers, right? Younger, right?
I'm a goody two shoes. Yeah. I'm really not gonna lie. Yeah. I have learned I'm very boring. Coffee and energy drinks.
Right, to keep you up.
Yeah. No, even during that time, I was like, I can't do it. They're bad for me. Yeah. And I told you, goody two shoes.
But let me ask you this. Were you playing other stuff other than the music? Like, other than the music of choice? Like, for example, like, I have friends that are musicians and they stick to what cookie cutter kind of, they're rockers, right? And then when they hang out together, they rap. Yeah. Were you guys doing that sort of thing?
There was a little bit of everything. Yeah. I mean, it's like a
hodgepodge of...
It was so many different artists coming together, and so it was like you had somebody that was a little more R&B, a little more indie. You had the country people. Yeah. You had there was one girl, I remember, what was her name? And I can't think of it right now. It's gonna hit me as soon, like in 10 minutes.
When you're in the Bronco. Oh, that was her name.
Literally. No, but she would always come in. She sings some like 90s rap all the time, and I was like, so cool. I love this. 90s rap. But we always just had the best time. We'd all go sit down by the pool, or like go down to the restaurant that was right there, and we'd all just hang out. It's great. It became like one big family, and I'm still close to a lot of them, and I talk to them all the time.
And good segue. Let's talk about that. So who are you close to, and are you close with the winners? I forget her name, the winner of the season 16.
I haven't seen her. I feel like I talked to her a little bit after the show. Or maybe it wasn't me. It was my team at the time.
Okay.
And but I will say the ones that I talk to the most are the ones that I see out in Nashville. So
Okay.
I mean, you got like Mr. Dexter Roberts. I just saw Guy Thrigden again on social media.
That's
You got
awesome.
like Trey Rose, Andrew Sevener. One of my girlfriends, Kendra Checkett, she's down in San Diego. So whenever I'm down there, I try to go.
SD.
Yeah.
Shout out to SD.
Try to go see her. But I don't know. It's just so cool to see everybody doing their thing. And I love the relationships that came out of it. I think that's the part that I really can't trade. Like, yes, the experience was incredible. I mean, when I was that young and I didn't realize how much actually went into, I knew in a way how much production went into like a concert, but I didn't realize how much more, because when you're doing it, basically a concert plus live TV. So you have all the production staff, the producers.
It's next level, as they would say, right?
It is heavy duty.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was the best time.
What was it like to Kelly Clarkson? I mean, no less. She's your idol.
Yeah.
And you get to work in her team. She chooses you, right? Yeah. There's a song that you and her sing, which went viral. What's the name of the song?
It was Because of You.
Yeah, Because of You, which is just one of her like classic gigs.
That was like a full circle moment.
Amazing, right?
It was. I've said this so many times, but it's like I owe her so much within my music career.
Yeah.
And I know she doesn't know it, but it's like she was my first concert I ever went to.
Guess what? I have a surprise for you.
Oh no.
She's backstage. Bring her in.
Kelly.
Just kidding.
Kelly. I wish. No, it's like she was my first concert ever. I would always sing the song Because of You at
Because of You.
I was ready for you to go on. I was going to add harmony to it. I was like, come on.
No, you're harmonized to my crooked voice. I'm actually coming down with the cold, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I feel like it anyway.
I'm just back away.
Wait, we're just far enough. It's actually plexiglass
60,
here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and then, so she was like, I used to sing her song Because of You at every talent show growing up. Yeah. And then what else was it? I feel like there was another thing. And then she became my coach on The Voice.
Okay.
She was everything that I imagined and so much more, just so incredibly genuine and authentic and real. And it's like, I remember she walked into rehearsal one day and she got like an In-N-Out shirt on with a bag of Taco Bell. And I was like, I love you for this. Wow. But she also took so much pride in her artists and on her team because it's like we had like a 30-minute session or whatever for coaching. And she ended up spending like 2.5 hours with me because she was like, if you don't love this song, then we need to make it where you love it. Like, make it something that you want to sing. She was like, the one thing that I remember is if I didn't like a song, like, and it turned out good, I'm going to be singing this for the rest of my life. And I was like, noted. Wow. And so
to take notes, huh? Yeah, that's very important.
Well, and it's funny. It's like, even I went on the show as a pop artist.
Sure.
And I kind of I felt like I was going through like an identity crisis, but I came off the show being like, okay, I know what I want to do, and that was country music because I love stories. I love storytelling.
Sure.
And that was really important with me, and I wanted to speak my truth. I mean, I grew up listening to it. I admire all the feeling. It's like, I will say, somebody told me country music is music for real people, that like your everyday life.
Right.
There's a song for everything. The heartbreak, the falling in love, you just want to hang out.
At the payphone.
Exactly.
Like, just like little
I mean,
stuff
if you own like a big green tractor, like, there's a song for everything. No,
John Deere.
Exactly. No, and then she told me, she was like, you have to believe in yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. Like, people might believe in you to an extent, but it doesn't come down to them. It comes down to you. And that really stuck with me.
Wow. That's phenomenal. Cause it's true. Like, you have to learn how to sell yourself first, but actually believe it. Cause if you don't believe and you have that ironclad sort of assertiveness, then no one else going to take you serious.
Well, it's like, when I was doing pop music beforehand, don't get me wrong, I still love my pop music. I love it. Okay. But I'm not like the risque kind of girl.
Yeah.
I'm like,
sure, no.
If I could be in a turtleneck 24/7, I probably would.
Yeah.
But I was like,
refreshing. It's refreshing, I gotta say. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just know for myself, that's where I felt like I was always being like, I wouldn't say pressured, but pushed to kind of be something like that. And I remember I had a meeting and they're like, no, like you're a different person when you walk on stage, and when you come off stage, then you can be yourself. But when you're on stage, it's somebody completely different. And I was like, I can barely be myself right now, and you're telling me I have to be somebody else. Yeah. And I was like, so it wasn't believable. Like I was like, this isn't me. And it's not gonna come across as like being natural or normal, like where it just felt uncomfortable for me.
Sure.
And that was like another big thing for me. And so like trying to find myself. So I went on the show doing pop, but I left as like with country, because I was like, that's where my heart is. I want to tell stories. I want to be. So
you weren't
the person.
authentic at the time. Like when you did pop was kind of like that was like a means to an end, and then like you strip down all like the layers. This is who I really am later. And that's one of the lessons that were vital lessons, if I may add, that you learn from Kelly Clarkson, because you're stuck with that image throughout your career, the longevity of your career. That's fantastic. Wow,
no, it's like great. She's just such a phenomenal woman, and she can sing her ass off. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss.
That's a cardinal sin.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh. Press the button, eject. I'm just kidding.
But it's like she is so dang talented. She could sing the phone book. She does so many genres. Her music, though, is so special to me because it's like she is just singing from the heart.
Totally.
150%. And I'm not 100% sure if she writes all her music or if she writes anything or if she writes it all. But it's like it connects with me in a different way, and I
love it.
Respect that so much.
Sure.
But then also it's like going back a little bit, I'm kind of wrapping it all around.
That's okay.
But it's like even when it was my 17th birthday, or it was 3 days before was the finale for The Voice, and they brought me back out. And we finished up. It was going to commercial break as I was walking off, and she goes, "Hey, like I have a show on Friday. Like, do you want to sing with me in Vegas?" And I was like,
"Get out of here! You serious?"
I was like, "You're kidding me!"
Oh my god! So, dude, I would have died and freaking come back for sure.
That was like. I was like, okay, like I'll believe it when it happens because I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Yeah. And then I got a text from her. My mom was like, "Did you reply back to her?" And I was like, "No, like I can't make it look like I'm too busy right now, or I'm not busy right now." Yeah. And she was like, "Are you an idiot? Answer the damn phone." And I was like, "Okay, got it."
Mom knows best.
Yeah, she does.
She knows, yeah.
But and so I went out to Vegas, and it happened to be my 17th birthday, which was really cool. She brought me out a birthday cake, sang me happy birthday on stage. But I also got to sing the Because of You song with her. Oh my God. And that was just like a dream come true. And then, but also again, she was like,
launched you kind of like, it kind of helped solidify you as a bona fide artist of sorts, kind of, I think.
When it's like, I will say coming off the show and doing that, a lot of the people I was surrounded by that looked at me as if I was only doing this as a hobby. Took me seriously finally. Yeah. Because it's hard when you're 16, 17, people are like, okay, like give it some time. She'll fade out. Like it'll be she'll burn out real quick. Yeah. And I was like, no guys, I've been doing this as
you're like I'm here to stay.
I'm like, I didn't start this when I was 10 for no reason.
Right? Yeah. Wow, 10 years old.
Because I was like, if I do something, I never want to do it halfway.
Okay. Take us through the moment. Yeah, you can't half-ass anything. Let's put that out there. No. So when you get the call that you're going to The Voice, what is that like? An eruption of? Did you have like an inkling, or did you guys know beforehand that this was on the day they were gonna potentially call you? Were you right by the phone? It was a text. It was an email.
It was a call, but it was I don't know if it was a call or a text to my dad.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
But I remember I had a few rounds of like producer rounds to audition for. So I did like a private audition, and then I want to say I had a callback, and then I had another callback, but I could be wrong. But then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we'll let you know if you make it like within like a month.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. I kind of forgot all about it because I'm like, if it happens, great. But if not, no worries. Like, no harm, no foul. I'll just keep going on with what I was doing. Right. But we were actually on a family vacation.
Okay,
we were
where were
in
you?
Cancun.
Okay.
So we were sitting in the pool, and then all of a sudden my dad goes, "You're going to the blind auditions." Like, and I was like,
"What?"
I was like,
Mother
"For what?"
God.
And he goes, "The Voice, Presley." And I was like, "They want me?" Like, it was such a weird feeling because it's like, I had never done anything like that. I had a few friends who had done The Voice before, and they loved the experience. And I was like, okay, like this is really exciting. And so I showed up, but I wanted to go into it with an open mind, because I'm like, I'm here to learn. Yeah. And I'm going to give it my all as much as I can. I'm going to do my part, my due diligence, and learn everything where it's muscle memory. And so I'm not overthinking it, but I want to have a good time also while I do it. So I don't want to put any expectations.
Right.
Because I feel like as soon as you set those, and if it doesn't come out, like you just kind of hurt yourself a little bit.
Right.
But your also ego. It's great to have goals. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But also I'm like, I was 16. I was like, this isn't my end all be all moment.
Yeah. You just want to have fun also with it.
I want to enjoy the process.
If it's too rigid, then it's not, it kills the creativity. Yeah. Isn't that so?
Yeah.
So you get the call and then you're pinching yourself. Like, oh my God, it's like a pinch your face moment. Like I'm going in it, and it's the holy grail. Like you're going to go and you kind of know the ropes, right? There's like judges, and you know the judges. Yep. And you kind of have anticipated John Legend, I suppose. Kelly Clarkson.
I think it was Adam Levine and then Blake Shelton. I think it was it might have been Adam's last season, but I think he's back now. No? Yes, he is.
And so you were just beside yourself. Like, dude, this is going to be next level in a way.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, even the entire process I was there, like from the moment I showed up, I was just ready to like go. And I was like, okay, like cool. Like we're going to be here for a month. Like this is a long time to be in a hotel room when I live 45 minutes away.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy?
But I mean, I had the best time. It was like my mom and I, and we literally, it was just, I think we went to Target almost every day and just walked around.
Isn't that the best?
On one part, because we were like, we have nothing else to do.
Right.
We'd get finished with stuff and we're like, okay, well, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. And we're like, we might as well just go walk around and get our steps in.
Right.
And I was like, try to be productive.
Yeah. Target is the best place to go for sure.
Target, I can get lost in the abyss.
One-stop place.
It really is.
Now, the judges, I mean, you know, the feedback they give you and stuff, it's one of a kind, right? Does it help change the course of kind of how you write your music, you think, for some people anyway? For some of the people you knew anyhow?
I wouldn't say for writing music. I would say their input gave me a different approach on how I perform things.
Okay.
So not necessarily in the creative
realm.
Yeah, but as the performance realm, yes, that definitely, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what they really said at this point, but I remembered back then I was like trying to take everything in. But for some reason, I could never remember what John Legend said. I don't know if he was just so quiet, because he's so like...
Yeah, mellow, zen.
Yes.
He's in zen. He's just taking it all in.
It's a little scary when you're like up close and like you see it and like you hear it and you're like trying to like focus, and he's just like this.
And you're trying to sort of like...
Yeah, I love it. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, do you believe that?
You believe in yourself?
Because I don't. Do you believe in yourself, or am I going to have to believe in you? No. I feel like that was like a theme between everyone. But also it was weird. Everyone had the same experience of when they first got on stage for the blind auditions to sing. They heard like the first 10 seconds of their music and then couldn't hear it. And I'm like, were we all just going through the same adrenaline, or like did we just step on like the wrong thing, or we couldn't hear the monitors anymore from the floor? It was very weird, the whole process, but I had a great time.
Right.
I learned so much from it, and I am so thankful that I was able to do it.
Well, it's quite impressive to me. I'm hearing you out. It's quite impressive that you have like The Voice and American Idol sort of merge. You know, they conflate, they come together, converge. Because obviously Kelly Clarkson won American Idol. Yeah. Did you know that I met Guarini, Justin Guarini? The guy she wins with the it's her and Justin Guarini's. Didn't
they have the movie together?
Yeah, the movie. Okay. Justin Guarini was at the gas station. And I'm going, oh my God, dude, you're like that. You're like, you don't understand. Like the first time I watched American Idol, I swear to God, I thought you were going to win it. I'm glad she won. Yep. But like, you know, and then he went out to do so many great things. Yep. So, you know, I think it's fantastic when you're on these shows that they kind of help catapult some people, or like it's a kind of stepping stone of sorts onto the next realm of your life. You think like was that the case for most of the people, or you think there are people that that, like you said, like it's more of a hobby of sorts.
It was kind of like a mixed
Yeah.
review amongst everybody. I mean, it's like, I know for a lot of us that I would say it's about 50-50, but there's a lot of people who went on the show.
Kind of change the course of their life?
Maybe it's like split down the middle of everything, because it's like, I was trying to be an artist beforehand, and I still am. But then there's people that only sang as a hobby, and like their family sent in videos, and then they happened to get on the show, and they're as soon as they were done, they went back to their 9 to 5. But then there were people that started off with just as a hobby, and then now are taking music seriously, because they're like, okay, this entire world is completely different than what they knew. I will
Also,
say
the age of internet, like the age of technology, TikTok.
Yeah.
It's sort of reinvigorated a lot of people's songs and stuff from the old days that none of us grew up listening to. We get to, it almost takes on a second wind, if you will. Second life, and I think that is important, right? Because like TikTok is like, you could be TikTok famous overnight. And so your songs, do you use TikTok as a medium also to get your music out?
Oh yeah.
It's easy, it's free, and like, how many would you say, let's boast here, how many views do you have on some of your, like, what's the one that has the most views, would you say, from the songs you have out on TikTok?
Ooh. I couldn't really tell you.
Or you just give me like a ballpark, like maybe 400,000? Is it 500,000? Have you reached the million in one of your videos?
I have so TikTok is a very funny story, because I was on it when it was Musical.ly.
Okay.
And so
way back when, sure.
Oh yeah. And I was an idiot on there, and if you go like deep in the archives of it all, there's videos that are still up, and like those would do great, and I was like, a homegirl was trying to dance. Homegirl couldn't dance.
We got one of these, by the way.
We ain't gonna pull it up. No. I said I hid those. I said my digital footprint is a little crazy.
Well, ain't that the truth for most people? It shows that it also shows the the ever evolving routine or storyline for most of us. The arc, if you will.
It's so funny though, until you look back at it and you're like, ooh, let me do that.
It shapes who you are. At the end of the day.
I say it builds character. But no, there was like, so I started there, and then it's like I gained a little bit of a social following from there.
Right.
And then I remember somebody told me, and they're like, okay, do you want to be an influencer or an artist? And I was like, I want to be an artist. I don't want to be an influencer. Like, I want people to take me seriously for my music. So I stopped doing social media.
Good.
And then I was like, okay, whoever told me that is the biggest liar of all time, and I should have been doing it this entire time, because where could I have been now? But social media is also an art on its own.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I love creating and I love posting, right? But it's like oh my gosh, like it is a job on its own also. It's very easy, don't get me wrong, but it's just like little tedious work.
Cultivate like all the friendships, and you're good about, I noticed you're good about replying to people, and I see some of the people are like, oh wow, she replied. But here's the funny part, like, we talk about the age of social media, you guys, and it's funny because nowadays, people will like, you have Mario Lopez reply to you, and in the olden days, I remember like one of the first people that replied to me was like the guy, the frontman to Rage Against the Machine, Zach De La Rocha, and I was like, oh my god, like I was suddenly like a fanboy. I was geeking out, like, dude, he actually liked it, and so it's so very accessible. I think artists and it's like the artists and the listener, the viewership, if you will. You're more in sync. You're able to, because they kind of feed off each other. Well, it's like it works in unison.
Well, and it's like it also bridges the gap between people now. So it's like, whether or not you're an artist and you're trying to reach out to people who listen to your music, it bridges that gap where it's no longer, okay, you only can see me at shows.
Right.
It's like there's full access to whatever. It's like, because I mean, the one thing about social media is like, you put your life out there.
Sure.
Granted, you can kind of portray your life the way you want it to look.
Yeah, that's so true.
But it's like, it's still...
It's doctored, huh? Doctor.
And I was like, can we go back to the days where you could post a picture of a tree and no one would care? And they were like, it's a nice fern. And I'm like...
Presley, would you... I mean, I don't know, time is running out, unfortunately, on our podcast. But I like, obviously like to hear another song.
Yeah.
If you could do another song for us, I would be delighted, and I think most of our viewership. But what is one thing you would tell the next generation of people that are, I was going to ask you this question like I did the last time, but specifically more so the ones that want to enter, like, for example, a contest such as The Voice or American's Got Talent of sorts. What is something you would advise them, going into this?
I would say, I think the biggest thing is just to be true to yourself.
Okay.
If someone tells you how you should be or what you should wear or anything like that, it's like, do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
Because at the end of the day, it's like you have to go back home to yourself and be proud of who you are.
Right.
And so you might as well live it up with every choice that you want to make. I mean, still take some guidance from other people if you need it. But
you're your own brand at the end of the day, right? Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing. It's like being a musician is no longer just about the music. It's everything. It's social media. It's still
something.
It's like it's a full thing, which is great, and that's why I love social media.
So many moving parts to everything.
Well, it's like that's why I love social media. It's like if you don't have to be necessarily with a label to be found anymore.
That's so true.
We have the entirety of so much access just at our fingertips.
It leveled the playing field.
But now it's how much do you actually want to put in the work to get there to be different than everyone else? Because everyone's already doing so much. So are you going to put in more?
Yeah.
Like that's like the big thing.
There you go. You're going to put in more.
Exactly.
And just before you get into playing for the last few minutes, I'd like to know, where could your all your viewership, where could they follow you, your fan base, and where can they follow you on Instagram and all the different modalities? Everything
that you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
It's Presley Tennant.
Everything is Presley Tennant. Or you can go to my website, which is presleytennant.com, and all my music, tour dates, everything that you can think of. If you want to reach out to me and message me, everything goes straight to me.
That's fantastic. And what song do you want to do for us on the way out to close the show?
I said maybe...
What do you think?
I think I'll do my newest release.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So I wrote this song with Mr. David Ray Stevens and Brandon Hart.
Okay.
And it was I think it was like my third write of the day after having a full week of multiple writes a day. And I was like, I have no idea what the hell we're going to write about because my brain is mush and I have no more ideas.
Well, I'm slosh, so I know exactly what you're saying.
No, but it was, so I walked in a little late and I was like, hey guys, how's it going? And they go, hey, like we got this idea we were thinking. They were like, love you with the lights on. I was all,
love it.
I said, what are we talking about? I was like, this could go so many different ways. And they were like, well, what did you think of it when you heard it? And I was like, well, my mind went one way. But I was like, but a cool interpretation would be just being with somebody that you don't have to try to be something else. Like the one thing in a relationship is that you can truly be yourself and that person loves you no matter what. And so I was like, I want the wholesome kind of like, where it could still be like you were friends growing up and it's just like that person knows you for who you are.
Sure.
Where they aren't trying to impress you all the time, but you just know exactly who they are in their heart. And so we wrote this song and it came out back in November. But and then there's more music on the way, but this is probably one of my favorite songs. Got me so high, talking cloud nine, baby, I'm still falling. Bet you wonder why all the other guys finally stopped calling. I was diving in deep head first in the dark, couldn't give anyone else my heart. But you're the only one I want. Let me love you with the lights on. Baby, we could use a better view. Spin me round to a slow song. Let me see that other side of you. We're more than just strangers dancing on the hardwood floor. But there's nothing I want more than to love you with the lights on. Let me love, let me love, let me love you with the lights on. Come on now. Ooh, my goodness.
Tennant, that is so awesome.
Are not the greatest
you are hard to describe because it's unparalleled. Like your talent, and it's every time I've seen you evolved, and just in the couple years, just in the last few years that I've seen you evolved into just an unbelievable, otherworldly singer to me. It's phenomenal and quite mind blowing to see this transformation from great to greatest. Needless to say, you know, I really enjoy your music, enjoy the conversation. We had such a great convo here tonight, and I want the viewership to know that I'm humbled that, you know, you made it all the way out here, did the 3.5 hours trek, and so blown away, you know, like just with your musical genius. You literally lit up the whole place. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I have no words to thank you for such a magical time we had here tonight on Almost Famous. And we have to do this again.
I said, absolutely. It won't be like 2.5 years now, 3 years.
Yeah, because next time you see me, I'm going to go down the cane. Let's see, Presley, where are you? Where am I sitting on the floor on the chair? Guys are trying to figure this thing out.
Oh, my goodness. But, thank you so much again for having me.
Thank you so much. Look, I am beyond blessed. Guys, that's my show tonight. I want to thank C. I want to thank our producer, and I want to thank Presley once again, and your parents, you know, and my wife that's watching, and my son, and honestly, honest to God, you're a gift to us. What a treat. Thank you once again. Presley Tennant, guys.